think it's time we looked at the manifolds and gaskets. I'm going to clean up the surfaces with meths to degrease. Not that I think the oil will make much difference to the gaskets, but generally speaking, cleanliness is supposed to be a good idea when gaskets are concerned. Exhaust manifold gasket time. You can't get these on the wrong way around, where you could, but they are designed specially to fit in the right shape. It's at this point I'm glad I actually had the manifold skimmed, because I don't think it would have been a very good mating surface had we not done that. I think the old ones were held together by luck more than judgment. So we now have the 4 in place, and I'm going to offer up the manifold, and hopefully this won't cause any problems with clearance. Brass washers to replace the steel ones that were there originally. And then brass nuts. I'm not going to torque any of this up just yet. I'm just going to dry assemble it until I know that everything is sort of in the right place. Hopefully these brass nuts won't seize themselves onto the studs like the steel ones do. I'm making sure that none of the gaskets are hanging below the level of this cylinder face, just in case that they could potentially foul on the main block and cause it not to sit flat. And I'm also going to take the time to push the manifold right up as far as it'll go, for the same reason. Now I know some people might fit this once it's back on the engine, but it's going to be more difficult to do that when it's in situ. More chance of dropping it, difficult to get to these nuts, difficult to torque it up. So I'm going to do it now. I mean, obviously if there is a problem later on I can always take it off, but unless that occurs, then we're going to go with this method. The next piece to fit is this rubber gasket here, and this is the replacement for that really ganky one that we pulled out of the inlet manifold at this position here. So hopefully that will just, oh yeah, it just drops in. Beautiful, just what we wanted. And the gasket itself should clear the rubber seal there, which it does, and hopefully there's enough there for that rubber seal to protrude, which there is. I'm going to pre-install some of these bolts into the underside of the manifold, because I don't think you can get them in there once you've laid them on top of the exhaust manifold. I think they just catch on the exhaust manifold slightly. So I don't think it was a problem with the smaller ones, but with the longer ones it was. And I'm just putting on a blob of anti-seize to help with their extraction next time should we need to, and also a little bit underneath the heads just to help lubricate them when we're torquing them up. I think that one is started. Okay, so we're happy with this setup. I've now got to take the inlet manifold back off so that I can torque up the exhaust properly, and that'll then allow me to put this back on, confident in the fact that it does go on straight and everything's okay. Right, it's time to torque up the exhaust manifold. It's got to be torqued up to 25 Newton meters, which is fine, except for this one under here, which, you know, I cannot get a wrench on at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything up to about 13 Newton meters, and then I'm going to try and emulate the same torque with the spanner, which is kind of guesswork. Yeah, difficult really. Anyway, here goes. Try and do it in a cross pattern so we don't warp this. I'm sure it's not that applicable to this thing, but we'll see. Turns out it's probably easier to torque it like this, as it's not flopping about all over the place. We're now going up to 25 Newton meters. And the last one. That's the exhaust manifold torqued up. Now it's time to fit the inlet manifold and torque that up. Okay, same principle applies with the inlet manifold, and that is going to be bring it gently up to 25 Newton meters. Right, the last one to 25 Newton meters. Right, that, my friends, is as far as I'm going this afternoon. I've run out of steam again. Both manifolds are in and torqued to the correct spec. We've got the cam in, it rotates. So yeah, not bad for a bit of fettling this afternoon. Still a long way to go, but you know, bit by bit, step by step. Anyway, adios.